Hello, everyone. My name is Albinqali, and I'm going to be the host today for Finding Your Niche. Finding your niche is one of the most important things I think when you are selling travel because travel is a very, very big industry. Okay. It is a $2.1 trillion industry. So breaking that down, there's a lot of different things that you can do with travel. So finding what makes you comfortable, what makes you confident is one of the best ways to make you one of the best travel agents. Okay. So we're going to go into details today on how to find your niche. As well, we're going to talk about the interests and desires and needs in travel. We're going to talk about the different types of niches that they have. There's different types of travel, guys, and then there's different types of niches, and I'll explain that in a minute. We're going to define target audience and we're going to identify gaps and opportunities. Okay. And we're going to go in a little bit more details than that, but I kind of wanted to save that for the end. So that's why I didn't finish it because I wanted you guys to kind of discover it as we go. Okay. But it's very easy. So before I get started, I want to clarify this real quick though. Okay. It is okay to have more than one niche. I think that's something that people think. I think people automatically think, oh, I can only have one thing. I can only sell one niche. That is not true. You can definitely have more than one niche. Does anybody here, now mind you, I know this is recorded, but this is also a live training. Has anybody here ever had more than one niche? If you have, feel free to put it in the chat box. Um, I found myself, I've been here for almost 2 years. And in those 2 years, I went from selling Las Vegas. That was my main thing when I first started. I really liked Las Vegas. Then I started selling all-inclusive resorts. And now I started selling cruises. And now I'm kind of venturing out to villas. I think villas are very luxurious and expensive, and more expensive means more commission. So I want that, right? So I kind of found that finding your niche is something that kind of develops over time. And it's perfectly okay to have more than one niche. Okay. Also, okay to change niches over time. Don't let anybody ever tell you differently. We have cruise and all inclusive. Okay, family vacations, all inclusive in Disney. Somewhat, I call it a breakdown of a niche and getting more specific. Yeah, definitely, totally understand that. So I have learned that the more confident I became as a travel agent, that the more I wanted to sell certain things. And that's kind of how the niche develops, right? When you first start out, you might have an idea, but when you start testing it, you might realize, hey, this doesn't actually work for me. And it's okay to switch it, and it's okay to have more than one. You can always tie them all together because, regardless, it's travel. So, as long as you're talking about travel, it doesn't matter what kind you're talking about, right? But there is really good points of having a niche. We're going to get into that, but to give you an idea, if you're focused on something, you can become an expert in it, right? You can be confident in it. And then that person knows, hey, if I go to Carmen, she was in here, if I go to Carmen, I know Carmen's going to sell me this, this, and this because she knows what she's doing. So those kind of things help when finding a niche. So it's good to have one, but just note that when I'm going through this, it's okay to have more than one and it's okay to change it. All right. Don't have a specific yet, but I'm interested in groups and honeymoons. That's a good one. That's very good. I like it. All right, so let's keep going. Step one, self-reflection. Now, to figure out what kind of niche that you want, you guys need to start reflecting on your own passions, interests, and experiences. Consider what aspects of travel excite you the most, and where your expertise lies. Okay. Think about your own travel experiences, hobbies, unique perspectives that you can leverage to differentiate yourself in the market. That is the whole important part of the niche. When you have a niche, you want to be different, right? There's a lot of travel agents in the world. We know that, but we have to be specific on what we're good at. Consider what interests you, consider what aspects you have. And I have a whole list that I'm going to show you guys today that you guys can screenshot and pick which ones you like. Okay. I have a bunch of it that I've got from Agent Universe. So there's a lot of good things in it, but it's a lot of self-reflection when it comes to niches. When I first started selling Las Vegas, I liked Las Vegas. I liked the idea of Las Vegas because it's fun, right? But I realized that Las Vegas is cheap. And that's great that it's cheap for my clients. But when it was cheap, it meant less commission for me. So I was like, wait a minute. I'm only making $50, $60 on this hotel. I don't like that. I want to make more money, right? So then I kind of changed it into all inclusives because they're more expensive. So I realized that as I got more comfortable, I mastered my Las Vegas. I still love Las Vegas. I still will sell Las Vegas. Ooh, I love selling Las Vegas. That's fine. But I've mastered it. So I kind of moved on to something more, right? And that's okay, but it had to come with a lot of self-reflection as in who what I'm comfortable with, what I'm confident with, and you will develop that as you grow as a travel agent because guys, this is a business, right? So it's not something that just happens overnight. This is something that you develop as you go, as you learn, you want to find new things, find new deals, like, and that's kind of how it works. All right, Tanya says, here's my breakdown. I share the one that Trace, okay, family vacations and all inclusive. To break it down further, cruises, okay, and further still Royal Caribbean. Oh, okay, Tanya, me and you are the same. I love me a good Royal Caribbean cruise. I feel like Royal Caribbean is the easiest for me to sell. I can sell Royal Caribbean. I've actually sold 2 Royal Caribbean last month, and I sold one this month already too, and it's only February 15th. So I totally get that. But I do family related travel, and I have made sure to include that in my elevator pitch. That's awesome. So yeah, so she has several different niches, as you can see, but they're all kind of revolving around what? Family travel. So that's okay because she can do all inclusives around the family, right? Or she could do Royal Caribbean, and that's still cruises, but it's family related travel. So that's what I'm going to explain to you guys in a little bit. There's a difference between types of travel and niches, and we're going to go into that. But that is a great breakdown. I love that. So as you can see, that takes self-reflection because she has to figure out what she's interested in. For me personally, I don't really like selling family travel. I don't know why. I normally, when I normally sell to is just couples. I don't, it's just my thing. I don't know. But you guys are all going to kind of develop what you want when you're self-reflecting. So let's talk about types of niches and travel. The types of travel are going to be broken down to like adventure travel, luxury travel, sustainable tourism, solo travel, family travel, cultural, wellness, right? And the niches are going to be actually experiences. And I'm going to explain that. So wild safaris, culinary, adventures, anything like photography, tours, things like that. The niches are kind of like more of an experience in a way, and then there's types of travel. Do we all get what I'm going here? Because you can have several niches and then be all about one type of travel. For example, Tanya. Tanya's family travel, right? But she has several niches inside of it. Does that make sense to you guys? A natural choice. Okay, that's cool. But does that make sense? Does everybody understand that where I'm going? Okay. So whatever type of travel that you would like, whether it be family travel, cultural, solo, etc., luxury travel, that's where I'm kind of going towards more now myself. But you guys can see that it all kind of depends on the types of travel that leads to the niches. So first, let's figure out what type of travel we got, and then we'll go into the niches too. So here is a whole big list. Feel free to screenshot this, okay? I actually got this. Can you see it? Let me close it out and then reopen it. Hold on. Let me get rid of the bottom bar. There we go. All right. You guys see that? Oh, every time I click out of it. Oh, yeah. I think we're good. I think it doesn't cut off just a little bit at the bottom. But as you can see, there's several different types of travel. We have arts and culture, we have corporate travel, ecotourism, adventure. I mean, there's a lot of different things that you guys can do in here, right? So they have cruises, they have entertainment, they have community interest, etc. Senior travel, solo woman travel, that's a really big one. Group travel in general is very, very big. But you guys get that? Okay. If you want to screenshot it, feel free to. I can always come back to it later on if I need to. All right. So here's a list of what. And then here's more of it, but I don't know why it's moving. But to give you guys a rough idea, let me close it out like this. Here we go. Now I can see it better. Drive me crazy. Okay. So this is going to be more of a niche version of it. So we have arts and culture. So they have like antiques. That's a niche, surprisingly. Going to look at niches, wellness retreats, things like this, castles, cathedrals, literature. I mean, they have a lot of stuff out here. We have ethnic travel. Okay, I already showed you guys that one. But the corporate events at sea. Okay, have you guys ever seen the big group cruises? Like there's one that this lady did with Taylor Swift, but Taylor Swift wasn't even on the cruise ship. Those are times certain types of things. I've even thought about doing a Vampire Diaries one because I love Vampire Diaries. Um, they have LGBTQ plus cruises. They have river cruises, ocean cruises. There's a lot, right? But it's because the travel industry is so big. Now, for me, when I was doing Las Vegas, I would have been doing more of the entertainment side. Why? Because that's what a lot of people do. They do casinos, gambling, stuff like that. So that's kind of what I would go for is the best casino. You just book someone on a sci-fi one. That's really cool. Yeah. So they have different types. Okay. I'm trying to open your guys' mind because a lot of time people just think the only thing I can sell is all inclusives or cruises, etc. Yes. Okay. That's a part of it. But think about what you're doing when you're selling this. Okay. I don't want you to just do all inclusive. What is a part of that all inclusive? Who is your target audience when you're doing that all inclusive? And that's how you kind of find more so of your niche. Is everybody following along? If anybody's not, let me know in the chat. Okay. So I'm gonna go back into presenter mode and continue. There's a lot. You guys can see it. I have a whole bunch of this stuff. I'm gonna close it out like this though. So they have different regions that you guys can go through. They have faith-based travel. They have family travel, which can be either adult only, I guess that's what they consider it. Celebration. So if you guys do events, you guys would do bachelorette parties, bachelor parties. Um, they have family vacations. They have luxury travel. You did your homework. Actually, guys, we have to thank Erica for this because Erica gave me all of this. Erica Gonzalez. She was like, go do this because this is you. This is more you than me. And I was like, all right, I got you. But I appreciate it. So they have focused travel. All right. We have a lot. There's groups, there's a bunch. Okay. And I will gladly share this with any of you guys. If you need it, you guys know where to hit me up. You can definitely get it from me. It's perfectly fine. But the idea of is it for you guys to understand that there is a lot. Like they even have accessible travel, adaptive travel, autism travel, celiac and gluten-free travel. I mean, there's a lot here, right? But there's a reason for it. It's because we don't want you guys to just think that it all fits into one, right? So one way to attract clients and one way to attract people in general, right? Maybe not even a client, but people to just follow you and to share your information is to share ideas that they relate to. So if you're doing family travel, who are you going to target? Your families, right? The families around you. You're going to target that. You're going to reach out to the families beyond just your regular market. If you're doing adults only, then you're going to want to reach out just to adults. So it kind of breaks down to that. That's where I'm going with it. Okay. So they have a bunch more stuff. They have anniversary trips. Somebody was talking about honeymoons earlier, vacations, destination weddings, stuff like that. There's a lot that goes into it. Yeah, for sure. I'll get that to you guys. I have to figure out a way to do that. I'll get it to you guys. Okay. Um, so as you guys can see, animals, wildlife, I mean, there's a lot that goes on here. The F1, the Formula One that's happened in Las Vegas, that's surprisingly really big. I didn't know nothing about that. They have the horseback riding, golf. Golf is a very, very big one here. I don't know if you guys know that, but we actually have vendors that you guys can book golf trips through and make commission off of. We have those. Okay. We have Baby Quip, which helps with the family travel. We do also have disability. We actually have a corporate disability training that happens, I think, every other week or so. You guys can attend those and get the disability side of it too. There's vendors for every single part of this. We have over 130 vendors, so don't limit yourself just to VAC. Okay, there's a lot of different things that you can do here. All right, so we're going to actually go into it a little bit, where I'm going to talk to you guys about your specific niche, and I'll ask you guys questions. If you need help with deciding on what niches, I will help you. But we'll finish this out and then we'll get into that part. Okay. So the easiest way for you guys to figure out how to do your niche is to start with the part where it says hobby. I cut off the word hobby. Sorry about that. But you do hobby. So how do you want to base your niche off of? Okay, now if you don't want to do hobby, you can also do destination. Some people don't like the word hobby. Some people like to do Caribbean. So they put that. This person put Uganda, which okay, fine. But if you were to do hobby, for example, they have skiing. So they have Sweden ski destinations. Types of travel is adventure, group travel. Your network is going to be who you reach out to. This person had Nordic Ski Club, ski shop, ski classes. Okay. So Uganda, this is learning outdoors, responsible travel, education, adventure. Who do they want to reach out to? College alumni. And I guess this person probably had like a whole group for that. Okay. But this is how you want to break it down. It's a great way to do this. Pick either the hobby or the destination, whatever topic you want, right? And then put in there, reverse it, hobby, destination, types of travel it is, and then the network you want to reach out to. This is a great way to figure out how you want to go about finding your niche. I had to silently laugh when you said golf because I sponsor. Nice. So as you guys can see, that's all you really have to do is to figure kind of out how you want to break down your niche. It's very easy to figure out the niche part, but there's two parts to it that we have to continue on with. It's going to be testing and engagement. You guys want to see what this niche does. Just because you like the niche doesn't always necessarily mean that everybody else is going to like it, right? If you do a very, very specific niche, then you have to reach out to very specific people. If you keep it broad, like family travel, for example, you do have the ability to reach out more, right? So keep that in mind when you're making these decisions too. So let's continue. Define your target audience. Step 2. See, I already know what I'm doing here. So who is your niche meant for? That is one of the biggest questions that you're going to want to ask yourself. Okay, Amber said, other than getting married and going on a honeymoon, how would we know what we wanted when we want to do weddings? Okay, so basically you're asking me, like, wait, what are you asking me? How would we know what we want to do others? Can you unmute yourself? Because I don't know what exactly, like, are you asking me like how else do you want to, oh, there you go.
I'm saying like it's not really a hobby to get married. You do that like
Right.
once, hopefully only once during your life, and then you go on
Hopefully.
one honeymoon. And unless you just like do a constant vow renewal, that's not really a hobby. So you
Right.
can't really put it into the thing you just put up on the screen.
So actually, let's go back. So if you want to do hobby, you could still do weddings here. Destinations, if you want to do destination weddings, local weddings, if you want to do cruise weddings, okay, is what I would put
Oh,
here.
okay.
And then types of travel, of course, that's going to be adults only or family because that's what's going to reach out to. And then your network. Now, that's one niche I forgot to talk about. A lot of you guys know I do have a separate company with my best friend, Fafo Weddings. I actually do sell weddings. Okay. So with this, one of the biggest things that I had to reach out to is you'd be surprised how many people are actually getting married, especially right now. Right now is actually wedding season. So if you were to decide that, Amber, to do wedding season, it's hot. I actually alone since January, we have had 5 wedding inquiries, and that's a really big deal. That's a lot because last year we didn't have all of that nice fluffiness, right? So the thing about weddings is that when you're networking, you have to keep in mind that there are a lot of people who do weddings. So you have to make sure that you are unique for that specific part. Now, I consider us more unique because we're partners, for one, and we like that. And we have a very unique finest affairs, forever occasions, weddings. It sounds nice. And then we went in there and made sure that we put all of our information out because with weddings, you have to be very professional, right? So we went in there, we made sure we were unique to differentiate from other people. We also do very specific TikToks. And in those TikToks, we help people because a lot of people don't know how to plan weddings. So that was our network for that. Does that make sense? Like we had to figure out how are we going to help them? And I'm going to go into that in a little bit. But to give you a rough idea, that's perfectly fine. You can still do that. Okay. So
last question on that is how would are you going to go in later to kind of help us figure out the people we would like, how to even reach out to the audience for that, because people don't
yep.
normally just like, it's not usually in your friends on Facebook.
Right. Yep. Nope. I will definitely go into that in a little bit for sure.
Okay.
I think it's like step 3 or 4. So yes. Right. Okay. So let me continue so we can get to that part. Step 2, define your target audience. So who is your niche meant for? Okay. This is gonna drive me insane. Hold on one second, guys, because I keep hitting the Zoom bar and it cuts off my presentation. Canva is not always the best friend here. There we go. All right, so target audience. Clearly define your target audience based on demographics, interests, preferences, and travel behavior. Consider factors such as age, income level, travel motivations, preferred destinations, and lifestyle choices. Understanding your audience will help you tailor your offerings and market strategies effectively. So, what I'm saying here, because that just sounds like very fancy liberish stuff, right? But what I'm saying here is that when you decide, say if you want to do Disney, okay? If you want to do Disney, then you're going to want to consider families because that's what goes there. Like families normally go there, right? So then you need to consider, all right, well, we have our family. So we're going to hit off people that are probably in their what, late 30s, early 40s. That's where we're going to go. Where are those people at? On the internet. We know they're on the internet. That's me. All right. I'm 31. So I'm on the internet. I have a family. I have 4 with 2 more on the way. So a family of 6. I'm on the internet. You're targeting me. Okay. You're going to consider my income level. Well, I have a big family, so I got to stay in budget, right? So you're going to consider that when you're marketing. The travel motivations. What's motivating us? Well, that's the first time we ever went to Disney. That's a what we consider a bucket list travel, right? Preferred destinations, Orlando or California, and then lifestyle choices, family oriented stuff. All right. Now that's just oriented towards Disney. So there's different things that we can do here, but that's to give you guys an idea. That's how I consider my marketing. If I were to do weddings, destination weddings, okay, who am I marketing to? People from the ages of 20 to about 30 is normally when people get married. We do have the late bloomers that get married later on, and that's fine too. We can market to them. But typically we're going from, 20 to 30-ish. That's when people normally get married. They're on the internet. A lot of them are millennials, etc. Right? So they're on internet. Income level is going to be considerate because there's going to be people who don't have a budget, and then there's people that have a very strict budget. And you'll see, I've learned a lot with wedding planning is they don't consider how many people they invite. They have to feed those people. So that's a very big one is income level, their budget. Okay. The more people you invite, the more people you have to feed, which means that the more expensive the wedding. So I have to consider that. The travel motivations, where they want to go destination wise, if they want to do destinations, if they want to do local. I find that destination weddings are way easier to plan. Preferred destinations and lifestyle choices. If you do LGBTQ, you have to consider the lifestyle choices. You have to consider the places that you're sending them, making sure that it's safe for LGBTQ, right? Because if you send them to a very bad area, they're going to have a very bad review. So you have to make sure it's safe. You have to make sure it's oriented for that lifestyle choice, right? Understanding this, like I said, it'll help you tailor your offerings. So when you're marketing, you have all of this in mind. Okay. Whenever I post something on TikTok for my weddings, okay, I get over 4,000 views. I don't know why, but for some reason that TikTok, it just takes off. So who am I targeting in those 3 or 4,000 views? I'm going to target those people that are looking to get married. So what do I show them? I show them packages. I show them destinations. I show them things that are going to interest them. And that's how that's how I bring in the client. Okay. I never expect instant gratification from posting on social media. I never think, okay, I'm going to post this and they're automatically going to book with me. That's not how this works. Okay. But what I do think is if I show them that I know what I'm talking about, and if I show them this is how you plan this is how you go to an all inclusive, this is how you can book a cruise. That's what makes people book with you. That's what it is. I've been here for almost 2 years. I can tell you exactly what it is. And that comes with the niche. Because when you find your niche, you are an expert in that field. You learn about it, you research it. You're going to find the best place for these people, and it makes it easier for them, which is why they book, right? So identify the gaps and opportunities. You guys have to look at the market and identify underserved or overlooked niches, okay? You would be surprised how many people don't really do all inclusive. You'd be surprised how many people just don't do cruises. You would have to take a look and see, okay? There's a lot of different travel around us. I like to follow people that do what I want to do, and they do it very well. So I always hear copy the right cat. You'll hear that a lot. It's okay to copy the people around you. Don't copy them word for word. But if they post something and it worked for them, then I'm actually going to go in there and be like, that was nice. Okay, let me come over here and kind of do a little something spin on it and do it myself, right? But I always try to make sure I follow people that are doing big things, that are doing great in marketing. Okay, that's cool, right? But you also want to identify the gaps in between them. Okay. So there's going to be certain points in your niche that you're going to say, hey, well, if I do this a little bit differently, I can make more money. If I do this a little bit differently, it's going to hurt me here, but I'm going to get more clients. So you have to identify the gaps that are going to be in between that, because the niche, when you find it, it's not going to be the perfect niche. All right. It's not going to be, even if you find the best niche out there, if it's the best niche, it's going to be probably hard to sell. So they're, all of them come with different parts that are kind of a drawback. It's not going to be just perfectly right away. Okay. So common niche problems. I broke some down for you guys. Budget, research, time constraints, itinerary overload. Feel free to screenshot any of this. Okay. But broken down, you guys can see expenses, dates, amount of people, type of travel. Okay. This is what happens normally when people find their niche. They will see this is what normal people have. So if I go to, say, we're going to choose all inclusive right now. Okay. This is 90% of the problems for people who book all inclusive. This is it. They don't have the good budget. They don't know where to go. They don't know nothing about all inclusives. They have a time constraint. So maybe they can't go during Christmas time frame, or maybe they just want to go during July 21st through the 27th. Okay. That time constraint can affect a lot of different resorts. They might be booked already. That might be an expensive season for them. That might be the most packed part of it, right? So we got to consider that. Itinerary overload. A lot of people, when it comes to booking travel, they get overloaded very easily. And that's where we come in as travel agents and go, hold on, let's break this down. Okay. But in order for you guys to be comfortable and confident, you have to kind of study this. And I'm going to bring up one that I feel that's kind of hard for me: tours. I don't know if anybody booked tours here, but I feel personally tours are very overwhelming for me. I feel an itinerary overload when I book a tour. So what have I done to make it easier? I've researched, right? Show off your knowledge by writing guides and tips and even videos on how to make itinerary planning easier. So what I did was is I started breaking down tours for people, and I started showing them, hey, you can actually just book this tour. You want to go to Greece? Okay, but it's too much to plan. Oh God, going to Greece, that's a lot. There was one that I can't even say the word. I'm probably gonna butcher it, but it's like Machu Picchu. Okay, somebody wanted to go there. They were like, I have no idea how to go there. It's Peru. So I was like, all right, let's go. I broke down into tour. It made it easier for them because it wasn't an itinerary overload. So if you have these problems in your niches, use these problems to show your clients, hey, it's actually not that bad. People always think that they can't go to Greece because it's too expensive, right? So if your niche is Greece, what are you going to do? I'm going to show them, hey, actually, you can afford this in your budget. You can actually afford it. You just have to pick the right dates, which are time constraints. You have to research the right locations so you can get the best deals, and then make the planning easy for them so they can have an all inclusive, or here's your tour to through Greece or Ireland, etc. Okay. So that is what I'm referring to when I say niche problems. You guys have to consider all of this and how you're going to tackle it in order to become an expert in your niche. Oh, I'm not sure, Janet. I'll have to check. I think I think Brittany was doing one today. I'll have to check for you. All right, so let's keep going. Now that we know um, different, that's why I like booking cruises. They're in essence already have the itinerary broken down. Yeah, I agree with that. Cruises are very easy when it comes to that. And so do tours. I don't think people realize how easy tours are, but to me they were scary at first, but now I market them and I'm pretty good at them. But I feel like they're a challenge because the tours, they include certain hotels and certain breakfasts, and you have to make sure you might have a flight here or a flight there, and like you have to pay attention to that, right? But once you break it down, it kind of makes it easier to say, hey, this trip is already planned out for you. I just need to add in a flight here and a rental car, and then you're good to go. Right. So that's just an example. Okay. So the solution wheel is something that I created a long time ago. It's actually a color wheel that I just got off of Google and I kind of put it all together. So the solution wheel is basically where we're going to break down your niche. So you guys can easily get this on Google. It's called the color wheel. Okay. But in general, I'm going to show you how it works. We put the niche in the middle of it. You write a problem for your niche in each spot and a solution above. And essentially it looks like this. Okay, I did weddings for this example. I don't know why the photos keep moving. Stop. Okay, so weddings. Okay, One of the problems of a wedding is expenses. A lot of people always complain it's too expensive. Okay. How do we limit the big expenses in a wedding? We get them the packages. If they want to do a destination, I will go and find the best packages. I feel like Dreams and Secrets have the best wedding packages, and we get 10% when we book them, the wedding packages, which is rare. Okay. So who is the first thing I show? I show them packages and I show them deals, normally Dreams and Secrets, to be honest with you. But I will grab them and I will say, hey, you can actually afford this. Everything's included in this package. You can do the same thing with all inclusive. People want to go, hey, I want to go to Dominican Republic, but I don't know, what's the cheapest option. So I'll go and I'll find them the resort that includes all that they need, and that can be inside their budget. That's the problem, right? The problem too, right here, where to go, wedding destinations. Flip this into all inclusive or cruises. People don't know where to go, guys. They're not us. Like, think about who you were before you were a travel agent. Did you know the best location in the Dominican Republic? No. I didn't even know that you really could even go to the Dominican Republic before I was a travel agent. So our job is to educate them and show them that this is the best part. That is how your niche works. So whatever your niche is, somebody give me a niche in the chat box other than what I've been talking about for the last 10 minutes. I can't really think of anything else. I did weddings, I did all inclusives, I did Disney, cruises, um, Universal Studios. Okay, that's fine. So Universal Studios, a lot of people don't adventure travel. That would be more like tours, cultural. Okay, tours as well. Excuse me. Um, sorry, my baby's been messing me up today. All right. So if we think about it, we could actually break it down for all of those. Universal Studios, that to me, that is actually normally only adults only. And I don't think a lot of people realize that's something I didn't really know until I went to Universal myself, was Universal Studios is normally meant for adults. They don't have a lot of kids stuff there. They do, but it's really small. And I mean like baby stuff. Okay. Now the 7, 8-year-olds, they're fine. But anything younger than that, it doesn't really work there, right? So if I were to be marketing for Universal Studios, I'm going to make sure I market to families that or have a little bit older kids. I'm also going to break down the packages. A lot of people don't know that if you live in Florida, that you can actually get a better deal for Universal Studios and Disney as well. They don't know about those kind of packages. So I'm going to show them, hey, you guys can get $250 off. Where do I go for that? Vax. Vax, perfect for Universal Studios, in case you guys didn't know. Adventure travel. People don't know where to go. Janet put adventure stuff. A lot of people don't know about adventure. What can you do? The safaris, the wild safaris. A lot of people don't know that you can go and do that in Africa, right? So we would show them, hey, you guys can actually do a tour to Africa using Cultural Holidays is a great vendor for that. Here's a tour that you guys can go on to do that kind of adventure travel. Maybe you want to do bungee jumping. Maybe you want to do, I don't know, skydiving. So our job would be to show them, here's how you do it. Here's the cheapest option. That don't do the cheapest, okay? Because you guys have to realize, like when agents first start, they want to do the cheapest thing. That's what I did with Las Vegas. That was a horrible idea. The cheaper it is, the less commission you get. Okay. So market to the clients that you want. I don't want a client with the $2,000 budget that every 5 seconds complains I spent too much money or this isn't going to work. I want the client with the $10,000 budget. So when I come in there with the 7,000, they're like, oh, okay, you did that. And I'm like, yeah, I did. Right. Those are the kind of clients I want. We're going to speak that into existence. 55 plus groups. A lot of those people, I can tell you right now, they like cruises. 55 plus groups love cruises. So find out, if I were to do 55 plus groups, I would, and we mean 55 plus in age, by the way, for those who can't see that. I would find out what these people are interested in. That's what I would do. I would find out what they want to do. A lot of people at that age, they have hobbies like knitting and reading books and TV shows or soap opera, something like that, right? What do these people like to do? That's what I would market towards. That would be my niche. I would figure out what they want. Mission trips for churches. Okay. Find out the best places to go. A lot of people I've seen for mission trips, they like to go to Universal and Disney. I've seen that a lot. But what are other good places outside of there that you can go? Places that people can reach others, right? That's the idea of a mission trip, I'm assuming. So you all want to go to groups with large people, like Peru would be interesting for that, right? They have all different types of things. Sports and entertainment travel, okay. If you were to do sports and entertainment, you're going to want to do packages because that's a big thing. You want to get the tickets with the location and da da da, right? So you guys can kind of see where I'm going. Is LGBTQ plus, is this a niche? Yes, definitely, Kevin. You can definitely do a niche like that. So you put Virgin Voyages have cruises underneath it, right? So if you were to market LGBTQ, you could include Virgin Voyages because they're an adult only cruise and they are very friendly with LGBTQ plus. Also, Princess is very friendly. They actually have an award for LGBTQ plus. Okay, so these are the kind of things that you'll find out as you go. You can include both of those if you wanted to, but there are certain locations. Oh God, I can't think of the one. Oh, the sanctuary. The sanctuary in Punta Cana, for example, is a very, very, very well loved area for LGBTQ. You will find nothing but normally LGBTQ plus in that area because they feel safe there. They have an award for that, actually. The sanctuary in Punta Cana is what it's called. Okay. So corporate events, okay, 55 plus pineapple, yes. So oh, I went too far. Sorry, guys. Trying to scroll down in the chat here. Oh, did you say Punta Cana? I did say Punta Cana. Yep. Yep, it's sanctuary in Punta Cana. Okay. I think I got everybody. Yep. All right, cool. So 55 plus corporate events. Okay, so corporate events. If I were to do corporate events, for example, I would find the best places with the best meeting areas. I mean, I would go like Marriott, they have the most beautiful meeting areas, I feel like. So I would probably stick to selling Marriott. Things like corporate events like that. What's the best place to do conventions? What's the biggest place to hold these, areas? Who can they fit? What can they do for me if I go to that area? What does Marriott do? Do they serve food? Do they have concierge services? Example. Okay. So you guys can see that you can literally take this niche will and break it down for anything. I like to, whenever I get stuck in what I'm selling, I will do this myself. I will go, say, if I started doing tours, I would put tours in here and then I would be like, okay, what's the problem with tours? People don't know that they're affordable. That's one of the biggest things. People don't know where to go. That's another one. There we go. I can fit this into any niche possible. Okay. So this is just an example of how I do this. Um, oh, Travel Joy. You're talking about Travel Joy? I actually use Travel Joy too. Travel Joy is great. It does cost though, so a lot of people have a problem with that. If you don't like that part, try Canva. Canva has really great itineraries inside of it, and Canva's free. Okay. So step 4. Next, after you figure out your niche, figure out what you want to sell, you guys want to turn your niche into your market. Okay. You want your niche you want people to see you and they go, ooh, okay, so they see Ash. What does Ash do? Well, lately, Ash has been up to a lot of cruises. Ash has been up to a lot of villas. I've been doing a lot of villas lately. But when they see me, I want them to say, ooh, that girl, she knows how to put together an itinerary. She knows how to put together a really nice cruise. That's what I want them to see me as. Okay. So, first thing, become known for what you do. Create a brand image for yourself and your company, and then meet the needs of your clients. So these are basically the 3 most important things that you have to do in order to make your niche into your market. Okay. You don't have to go and study every single training that you have out there. They do have certain things that you guys can become experts in. So let's say if you want to do Caribbean, then go study the Bahamas, become an expert at the Bahamas, right? Kind of things. They have that in Travel Agent Academy, etc. So you guys can do that. But the expert part is going to be shown more through your marketing. Okay. A mock booking is a great way to show that you're an expert. When you do a mock booking, you're not really planning on ever booking that. That's probably you might book it, but that's not really what you're going for in a mock booking. A mock booking is to show them that you know how to put an itinerary together. You know how to save them some money if you need to, or look at this amazing deal of all you're getting inside here. I did one yesterday for a villa and it held up to 18 people in it, and it was like $3,000 a night. And that sounds like a lot, right? But when you put 18 people in a $3,000 a night, that's cheap. And then what all did it include? I made sure I sold them on what it included so they get their money worth, right? It had a butler service. It had a guard on site 24 hours a day, which was cool. It had maids, which is kind of like the butler, but the maids just they came in and cleaned through twice a day or something like that. And it had a private chef, and it included groceries. Okay, so I showed them, hey, you guys can actually afford a villa. A lot of people think, oh, I can't afford that. It's expensive. No, you can actually afford a villa in Greece, but here's what you have to do to be able to afford it. I am a expert for that. Does that make sense to you guys? Oh, okay. Hold on. Reading the chat. Ah, yes, yes. Okay, cool. Where are you looking at villas? My favorite vendor for villas is Villas of Distinction. That YouTube channel that I shared earlier in the chat, it says looking for new suppliers. I go over Villas of Distinction in there. I absolutely love Villas of Distinction. They have everything put together for you. So, to give you guys a rough idea though, that's what you want. You want people, you want to show them, this is my niche, this is what I know about. And it's okay to have more than one because of that specific reason, right? I want to market to luxury, expensive trips. I feel confident doing that now. Did I do it when I first started? No, I didn't. But now I feel confident in doing that. So that's what I'm going to go for. Okay. So I have to create a brand image, create a company in itself. This is what Travel with Ash does. Okay. That's my company. But what are the needs of the client? We just went over that. The expenses, where to go, how to plan it. They don't know none of this stuff, guys. They're not travel agents. They don't know how to plan a trip. And some of them do, right? You can definitely have more than one niche. I said that right in the beginning. You might have missed that part, Kevin. But not only do I do villas, but now I'm working on tours because they scare me. But I want to conquer it. So I'm gonna find out about it. Okay. But as I go, it all kind of relates more back to one type of travel for me, and that's luxury travel. So I'm going to show them the best cruise for their bank. I'm going to show them the best this, the best that, right? But you guys can see that it develops as it goes. It's not something that just happens overnight. It's a business. It's not meant to happen overnight. All right, keep going. So niche tips, how to find it. The biggest thing that you guys have to look into when you're finding your niche is the profit potential. Okay. Why I keep going back to Las Vegas because it really hit me hard when I did Las Vegas. Yeah, I can put it up in a little bit. Yep, I will. Um, so a lot of people don't realize that when they first do their niche, they don't know the profit potential. Learn about what vendors you're using and what percentage they pay. Okay. Know that cruises, they normally pay what 16 to 18% is what I've seen. So I want to note that. Okay. Virgin Voyages, right now they have a deal. If you guys get to gold status through Virgin Voyages, you get $100 onboard credit, excuse me, to give to your clients, right? So me knowing that, if I wanted to sell Virgin Voyages, I'm about to go get my certification so I can offer that to them. Those are the things I'm talking about. Okay. So see profit potential. If I'm selling Las Vegas and I sell the cheapest trip out there and it's only 120 bucks, I'm only going to make $13 off of it, is what I'm trying to tell you. Okay. When I sell packages, when I sold that $3,000 a night, I get 10% of that. Okay. That's what Villas of Distinction pays out. But if it's $3,000 a night and they stay for a minimum of 5 nights, what is that? 15 grand? 10% of that is not bad. I can handle that. Okay. So that's what I'm talking about when I say see profit potential. Consider how much it is. Okay. You finished gold on Saturday. Perfect. So, for example, Kevin, who was talking earlier, he was talking earlier about Virgin Voyages. Kevin can go and say, hey, guys, I'm an expert when it comes to adult only cruises. Take it further than just Virgin Voyages. Okay. I'm an expert when it comes to adults only. So now I have my Virgin Voyages certificate. And with booking with me, you guys get $100 extra onboard credit. That will sell someone. You would be surprised. When they hear that under $100 extra onboard credit, they don't care about nothing else. That, oh, I'm getting a deal. There it is, right? So that's going to help Kevin in that specific niche. Okay. So next thing, consider how comfortable you are. You guys need to get really comfortable with what you're selling. And that requires you to do it on your own. Okay. Don't sit and put yourself into 6,000 trainings. Trainings are great. I love trainings, but I had to go and play with it. And I mean, like, I go into Villas of Distinction and I start searching and I look around. I'll go into Vax and I'll go, what's the cheapest price for Punta Cana right now? Let's go. right? Okay, people don't want to go to Jamaica and Bahamas right now, isn't it? Jamaica and Bahamas, I think. They don't want to go there. So I need to find other places because we are travel agents. We have to adapt, right? And I know it might be completely safe technically to go over there, but if the state puts out that it's not safe, everybody in their mind, it's not safe. We know that, right? That's just how they think. So what do I need to do as a travel agent? I have to adapt. So what am I going to do? I'm going to show them cruises, for example, that go to Turks and Caicos. I'm not going to show them a cruise that goes to the Bahamas right now, right? That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Get comfortable with adapting for your niche, get comfortable with making changes, and get comfortable with selling it. Okay. Okay. So Janet, for example, she just put, I spent 4 years and I can never say that word, Oahu. I probably butchered it, in Hawaii. And I'm comfortable with that area. Okay. So Janet is comfortable. She's been there. So she knows the resorts that are there. She knows, and Hawaii is one of the hardest places to sell, surprisingly. Why? Because they don't do all inclusive. So Hawaii is what? Expensive. But they know that. People know that Hawaii is expensive. So Janet has a really good profit potential in Hawaii. Why? Because she's comfortable with that area and knows where to send people. You can probably build an entire itinerary for somebody who's going to Hawaii, as I wouldn't be able to because I've never been there, right? So that would be something that she would be good at. Okay. Marketing strategies. Obviously, I'm kind of going over that as I'm talking. You know, you can market to people who don't, that everyone is aware there's only one all-inclusive resort stateside. Yes, that is something that a lot of people don't know, Tanya. A lot of people don't know that when it comes to stateside, there's not really any all-inclusives. All-inclusive means something completely different internationally than it does United States. So that's something that you can teach them. Okay. Is the Bahamas safe as long as you don't go out exploring? Honestly, Mary Rose, I don't know. I haven't been to the Bahamas, so I don't know. I don't want to send my client to an area that I don't know, and I don't want it to get worse if they're there. So what I've been doing myself personally is I'm not advertising to that part right there. Like that's just me personally, okay? But I would consider cruises more safe than more so just sending somebody to the Bahamas. But I also just seen somebody in the Bahamas in December and they were perfectly fine. So I don't know. So for me personally, I don't market to that right now. When I show the cruises, I had somebody comment on my TikTok the other day about cruises. They were like, "Why are you showing that with people dying and blah blah blah?" I was like, because you guys have to keep in mind, no matter where you go, there's always a risk, right? You could walk outside today and you could have a risk, right? So I keep that in mind. You feel like it's client specific. Exactly. So you would have to just kind of pan it out. Okay. Be careful where you're sending them. Don't send your client anywhere you wouldn't go. That's the best thing I can tell you. All right. So continuing on with our niches. Uh, After you find out the niche that you guys have, make sure you test it and figure out what works. If you find that you are not getting a lot of hits on that specific niche, don't be afraid to change it, and you don't have to change it completely. Okay. I have somebody on my team that does nothing but holiday travel, and she does Christmas markets. And surprisingly, it's very, very popular because a lot of people don't do it. It's very rare to see people do Christmas markets, but there's a lot of international Christmas markets that we don't know about. So she shares them. Okay. So when she does that, it's not Christmas 24/7. So she has to make a change in her niche to adapt for the rest of the year, right? So the rest of the year she spends selling cruises. I don't know, but that's what works for her. Okay, that's what I mean. Except that your niche might not work 24/7. Okay, except that there's hot points for your niche. Weddings, example, weddings are hot normally through January. Like the booking part of the wedding is January through April, and then people get married June, July, August, September, November, all the way to December, right? Most people get engaged as of last night. That's the hottest night to get engaged was last night. Okay, so you're going to have a lot of hot potential clients come out as of tomorrow, today, right? So consider that when you're considering your niche. Consider what works for you and what not actually work in the long run. Okay. Um, Ron Archer spoke. He said we need to not only research it, but he said as long as you are not advertising that you have money, people just can go, just need to be aware of their surroundings. Exactly. So I just know that when it comes to certain things like that, I think about the consumer. If I see something on the news that tells me it's not safe, I don't care what a travel agent tells me, I'm gonna think it's not safe. That's how the world works, right? That mass media, if they put out repeatedly it's not safe in their heads, that's what they're thinking. So I'm gonna accept that right now. It might not work. Where do I go? I adapt my niche, okay, because that's a part of my niche. The Bahamas and Jamaica is a part of my niche technically. I adapt it and I show them other places. Guys, there's all of these places all over the world. They can go to Turks and Caicos, they can go to Peru, they can go to Argentina, they can go, you know, wherever, Bali. There's all these world places, okay? We don't have to just focus just on them, right? They are the cheapest though, so it kind of hurts. All right, so that is all I have for the niches. Now I'm going to get into more specifics, okay? But that's all I have for the slideshow because there's not a lot I can talk about when it comes to this. It gets very specific. So if you guys have questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Okay. Um, is there a code for the training? Nope, there's no code for the training. It's not that popular of a training. But this is my YouTube channel right here. It's right here. Trainings with Ash. And then I'll answer some questions too. But let me go ahead and stop the recording. If you guys have questions when you're watching the end of this recording, feel free to drop them in the chat. If you need help with finding your niche, feel free to drop them in the comment box, whatever, I can help you guys. But I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording.